Welcome to the Nintendo Dads, episode 419, recorded on March 23rd, 2023. On tonight's episode, we talk about some light news, a few game releases, a schwack load of questions from the community, and maybe a surprise visit from our Patreon producer, Dave Ernsberger. You never know. Jesse, you know what to do. Hello, everybody. It's Tim, it's Marty, it's Jesse coming at you with the next episode, like I said, 419. We were trying to do kind of like maybe a retro kind of Nintendo Dads vibe, so Marty came with that vibe for us. Jesse and I couldn't do it, so Marty, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm good. I'm here from the inside of a tin can. Otherwise known as I'm on my phone at my mom's house because I forgot my podcasting gear when we went away for the weekend. So instead of depriving you of my dulcet, velvety southern voice, I decided to put on my earbuds and join you via the magic of Wi-Fi on my phone.
Nice. Magic. It's magic.
It's
nice.
Magic.
Thanks for coming in and joining with us. And
you need to do that hand motion when you
yes,
say that?
you got to do magic, because then if I had graphics, you'd see magic come between my hands.
Magic. If I did it with both hands, I would drop my phone. It would kind of look like this.
Yeah, we're not that sophisticated with the real time effects.
Yeah. No.
Jesse, how's it going?
Pretty good. Work's been work, but hanging in there, and I got some games played to talk about later.
Yes.
And there was a work event that coming up in Orlando in like second week in May that we are told isn't required but highly recommended. It sounds like it's a lot of socializing, and
sounds right up your alley, Jesse. Sounds right up your alley.
As I said before, I am the introvert's introvert. You wouldn't know that just by listening to me here, because I'm fine when I'm in a room by myself with a microphone. But put me in a room of people, and I am a different person. But anyway, I stated that I'm leaning toward passing on going because I already have 2 days of vacation planned that overlaps that time frame. And that would disrupt those vacation plans. What I didn't tell them is the vacation plans is getting Tears of the Kingdom a day early and playing it.
That is a perfectly acceptable donation. By the way,
They don't have
guys,
to know your business. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, Tim, but today is the 20th anniversary of the Game Boy Advance SP.
No, I didn't notice that. That is
It
awesome.
launched on this day 20 years ago, $100, or I'm sorry, $99 at launch. And it came in cobalt and platinum.
Nice.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? That's my favorite handheld of all time, and it's 20 years old.
It's
Seriously.
spectacular. That's what got.
That kind of makes me sick to think that it's 20 years old. Jesse still has his.
Yep.
I think I've got 3 or 4 of these lying around now.
I still got to find mine. Mine's around here somewhere.
This is just the only one within reach. So does that make it retro now? This is 20.
It has to be 25 years old to be an antique, right?
I wasn't going there. I was just saying retro.
Wow. Antique. All
Becca
right.
asks, is it any with the one with the backlight? Mine has the backlight. Or at least the one I showed just
all the
now
SPs
does.
are the ones with the backlight.
Well,
Did they make the SP had a backlight?
Well, there's one. The newer model has a better backlight.
Well, they
Yes,
were all
it
still
does.
with the backlight.
Yeah. AGS 101 is what I have here. I think this has the better backlight.
Yep. Yeah, the SPs are the ones that had the backlight. Whether it was better or not is whatever. But all of them had the backlight. All right, and for me, I had a lot to do with work. So, and of course, the dog is upset. So, all right, well, I actually, Jesse, you remember back in November when I talked about becoming a Scrum Master?
Yeah.
I got certified and passed the test, so now I am officially
Congratulations.
a Scrum Master.
Is that how Bard knew this?
Yes.
Did you
No.
see that?
No. No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
Someone posted, I think, in Discord that someone posted on bard.google.com, which is basically Google's version of ChatGPT and AI text model.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Bard. Yep. Okay.
Someone said, "Who is Tim from Nintendo Dads?"
Oh, that was Mecha. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was Mecha. He came up with it.
And the answer mentioned the Scrum Master thing.
Yep.
I'm like, how the hell does it know?
That's a little scary. That's a little scary.
That's not scary. It just says that I have too much information out on the internet. That's what that means. So
yeah, well, that's also scary. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. So all right, with that, let's go on to the news. All right. First up on the headlines, we've got Deadline.com is predicting that the Super Mario Brothers movie will bring in at least $90 million in the first 5 days, Wednesday through Sunday. And water is wet.
Exactly.
It's gonna. I've told you guys it's gonna make $1 billion.
Yeah, Deadline.com is late. Marty's already been predicted this.
Yeah, I'm about to say this. I don't think it's gonna make $1 billion the first 5 days, but there's going to be, as our Canadian friend Justin would say, a schwack load of people who go and see this movie within that first little time frame. My family's one of them. It's my son's birthday's on Easter, so we're getting we've rented out a row. I think did I mention that on the show?
Yes,
I think that we rented out a row in the movie theater.
If not the show, you did it at least a pre-post show.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
So we bought a whole row of tickets, which. This is our little one seat or one.
They were like, "Oh, Marty, yes, the Nintendo Dads. Yes, you may have a row."
They don't even know.
Go ahead.
This guy doesn't even know what Nintendo Dads is.
Who are you again?
Anyway. Huh?
No, wait.
Yeah, who am I?
Where is it? This is what we want.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what Marty did going in there. Do you know who I am?
I just started waving around $10 bills. Or no, actually. The whole thing is every seat is $7. So there you go.
There you go.
$70 to see the Mario movie with 10 people.
Yeah, I have one ticket for Wednesday, and I plan on buying 5 tickets on a Friday once the theater that I'll be in Texas that weekend allows for pre-sale.
I also have one of those, but I can't talk about it.
Yeah,
so I'm just saying.
We also have related toys are already appearing in the wild, which we've got videos on that. So
we do. We have the actual Peach, Toad, Mario, and Luigi and the van. But I found Bowser this past weekend.
Nice.
I'm sorry, not fire breathing Bowser, steam breathing Bowser.
Breathing.
It's not as he's
cooled off.
Well, there's a button on his back. You pour some water in his head, and there's a button on his back.
Do you actually add water to it? Because if not, that's garbage. But that's cool.
Yeah. So you add the water, and you press the little button on his back, and an LED lights up in his mouth, and for 5 seconds, it breathes steam out.
I'm sure you could add something to that to where the steam comes out and is flammable, and then if you do a lighter in front of it, then you got some fire.
And then the interior of the Bowser toy catches on fire.
You get one great shot. So make sure you do it
toy.
One time.
I did take it into a dark room and try it, and it looks pretty cool in the dark.
Nice.
It's funny, and I guess they're to scale, but Bowser's gigantic when you put him next to. I mean, as he should be, right?
Yes.
And for those of you who are trying not to be spoiled for the movie, there's new footage every day on YouTube. I found at least
I don't watch it.
3 new scenes today that were being advertised. It was something with a Kong, and then there was something new I can't even remember. Bowser. Oh,
Yeah,
Luigi's
Twitter's showing
Mansion
them too.
5. Yeah,
Yeah, Twitter's doing
don't
it
just
too.
if you are wanting to remain unspoiled for this movie, you just need to go dark
They
right
go
now.
lock
Like
down the rest of the next
yeah,
2 weeks.
just go dark. But
Right.
yeah, Mario movie hype.
Right. Yes. So speaking of dark, Tears of the Kingdom have already surpassed Breath of the Wild pre-orders in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's dark.
there was an organization over there, COMG, who reported that pre-orders are already past Breath of the Wild, which is very, very promising.
Makes sense. I mean, because everybody was on the fence about it when Breath of the Wild was coming out. So now
And
everybody's
true,
like
seven
all
years
about
ago,
it.
you were split between two systems.
Yes, that too.
Yeah,
Good point.
yeah. So, and as we know, Jesse is on holiday that weekend. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it's. I was going to see if I could actually find numbers here. It says games pre-orders are tracking ahead of pre-orders for Breath of the Wild. So the just article says it's impressive given it's still a couple of months till the game's release.
Right.
So
And that's without any, big push yet from Nintendo. So I can only imagine what those
yeah.
numbers will be like after. So
Mhm.
all right.
And it's like
That's not a surprise.
It's been a steady growth, like
Yep.
a upward trend. Whereas according to this chart I'm looking at, like Breath of the Wild kind of went up and then it kind of went horizontal for a little bit and then kind of scaled up to like days before launch. But like we're looking at a steady upward climb right now. So and I mean like even in this graph, it starts at 91 days before launch. There were not even pre-orders available for Breath of the Wild before that. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I would put in a pre-order if I
Oh,
could get the special edition.
remember, we found out the release date in January for the March release, so we only had less than
That's
2
true.
months notice.
Yeah. Speaking of Breath of the Wild, Nintendo uploads digital version of Breath of the Wild Explorer's Guide for free, but I understand that it's actually missing some things too in there, so it's not like the total guide.
Well, that's not cool.
But I can't confirm that, so because I don't have the Explorer's Guide.
That's like saying here's a package of Oreos, but we forgot the cream filling.
Well, no,
It's
it's not missing. It's not missing a lot of content. It's just somebody pointed out it looked like it was missing some content. So maybe it's an Oreo package where a few Oreo cookies are missing from it. So maybe it's like that.
Yeah, that might be good. It's probably a better thing. better illustration.
All right. So on a positive note, GameStop posts a quarterly profit for the first time in 2 years.
Woo!
2 years.
The question is, can they make this a habit, not a fluke? I doubt it. We'll find out.
We will find out.
Good for you, GameStop. Good for you.
We'll clap our hands.
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean, yeah. So this was the quote from the article. I wanted to say this. Furlong said on a call with investors that compared to 2021, quote, when many predicted we were heading for bankruptcy, now the company is better positioned.
Yep.
They profited 12 million instead of losing 150 million. That's not really out of bankruptcy range yet.
Yep.
Do the 12 million a few more times.
Right. And go up maybe a bit larger chunks there.
You gotta think that some of this is partly because of like people actually being able to walk in and buy a PS5 now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Quag 311 just said.
Well, they make very little money on systems. Their big profit margin are their accessories, the controllers other games, especially used games that they resell at 100% margin. But
Yeah.
but still, more consoles out there means more people wanting the games and the accessories.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nintendo Switch firmware update 16.0.1 brings even more stability to our systems.
Yep, that's all it did. There's nothing new.
Yeah,
Just more stability.
I noticed last night that the Game Boy app got updated.
It did, and I thought we were getting a surprise game.
Same here, and I was disappointed when Burger Time Deluxe was still the top game. So I don't know what they did, but they did something.
Does that say more about the update, or does it say more about Burger Time Deluxe that you were disappointed?
The update.
Okay. Let's say I know you're.
I'm okay with Burger Time Deluxe. I was just hoping that it would no longer be the top game, and it still was.
There you go.
That's interesting.
Well, you could change the top game. You could just rearrange them every day,
but
and you could have a different.
If there was a new game, it would not be the top game.
Are you one of those people who doesn't put your games in alphabetical order?
I do not.
Jesse. I gotta have. That's the first thing I do when new games get dropped is to put them in alphabetical order, and I also have a certain number of games per row that maximizes the box art.
Yeah, because you don't want different rows to have different box sizes like I do.
No. Oh my gosh, what kind of monster? Yeah, do you put your apps in folders?
You.
Like on your phone, do you put your apps in folders?
Oh hell yeah, I do.
Well, then why don't you do it here?
You can't have folders in the Game Boy app.
My mom doesn't put her apps in folders, and every time I'm looking at her phone, I'm like, how do you find?
How do you live?
Like, oh, it's on the 7th page of apps, and I was like, no, don't do that. No,
well,
they make folders.
See,
how do you live like this?
Most of the time, if I want to find an app, I swipe down and type in the name of the app I want. And
yeah, I do that too. I do too.
Doesn't matter if it's in a folder or not that way.
Because I've legit, I'm going to tell you, I've got so many games on my Switch, I legit forget that I have games sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got Dead Cells. So I forgot I had this game.
You need to exfoliate more then.
I deleted games, I promise. But
I got it, Jesse. Go on.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Ha. I get it. It took a minute. It's been a long week.
I didn't even have that one planned. I was just on the spot.
That's what we pay you for, that wit.
All right.
This is
next
one that
up,
I added.
Atelier Ryza. Atelier Ryza, whose first 2 games sold over 1.6 million copies and has a 3rd game releasing tomorrow, will have an anime adaptation of the first game releasing in Japan this summer. Jesse, what you got on that? Excited about that?
Yeah, I hope. I don't know if it's coming to North America via a streaming service. I hope it does. Optimally Crunchyroll, because I don't have to pay anything more to get it. If it's somewhere else, then I'll have to think about it. But this is an anime I would watch. Yeah, I haven't played the first game, so I don't know the story. So yeah, I'd watch this.
All right. They look interesting. I've noticed these games because there's other ones, the Atelier games, right? So
yeah. I haven't played an Atelier game since PS3 era, and I've been threatening to, try one of these days. So I put the.
Who are you threatening with that?
I threatened myself.
Okay.
So I put the newest game on my GameFly list, and it's in transit. I don't know if I'll get it tomorrow or not, but again, the game releases tomorrow. I am getting the PS5 version, but the game will be available on Switch as well.
Okay.
So we'll see if I have time to play it.
I bought
If not, it'll sit next to the Hogwarts Legacy game that I also have from GameFly that hasn't been opened yet.
I bought the Sophie one that came out on the PS4, I think it was, and but I bought that for my daughter Sophie. So,
Ah,
but I'll have to see if I can borrow that and try it out. So, but it always looked interesting. I was kind of curious about those games.
yeah, it's
So,
kind of a. I'm presuming that the premise is still similar across the games, but what I remember from the PS3 game, it's like an RPG. There is some battle components, like kind of like action RPG type of
okay,
dungeon
yeah,
crawling, where you collect materials that you bring back and use your alchemy skills to make other items to solve problems in whatever town you're in,
yeah,
and then that progresses the story.
yep. Very interesting. All right. Well, you'll have to update us on that if you ever get around to playing it. Or watching the anime, of course, too. So, all right. Marty, Mega Man NT Warrior episodes available on YouTube in Capcom USA channel.
Great.
You gonna watch those?
Uh,
Nah,
maybe.
because it's NT Warrior.
If it was the original Mega Man, yes.
You would have been all over it.
OG Mega Man, the best Mega Man.
Yeah.
And I know right now I've already somewhere I have stirred the waters and Mecha Dragon is rising up to tell me why I need to watch these.
He's already working on it
I
right now. I
I'm
can see it.
not I'm not watching them. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
Probably not.
I remember watching the NT Warrior episodes when they were aired on, in English dubbed uh, local television.
I
It's
mean,
been I
it's
don't remember
Mega
anything
Man,
about them.
so I will probably get around to watching at least a couple episodes, but it'll be like everything else
Yeah,
that I start and I watch. Like I'm surprised that I finished series. Like we just finished Servants on Apple TV, and that was like if it's not like a episode every week that I'm keeping up with, I don't binge watch shows. I just don't do that. I don't.
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
yeah.
I
Okay.
try to sometimes, but then here's what happens. I'll watch 4 or 5 episodes, and then I'll forget which episode I'm on, and then I'll just won't watch it, and then I'll feel like I have to go back and watch the other 5 episodes again. So
They all
I've done
kind of
this.
blend together, don't they?
I've done
If
this. I've done
binge.
this with Transformers G1. Like I'm just like, I watched the first season. Now I'm in season 2, and it's like, well, it's been so long since I watched the first season. Guess I got to go watch it again.
I noticed that if I do binge a lot of episodes, like a whole season, that it's like I can't differentiate which episode is what. It's
Right.
like, it just all blends
Right.
together. And so someone's like, oh yeah, did you see episode one? It's like, if you watch it episodically when it comes out, right then and there, I guess when everybody else is doing it, you talk about it, you get more, you remember more. Or if you have somebody you're watching it with, and then it helps. But
It's
it seems like
like The
you,
Office. Okay, like I really enjoyed The Office when it first came on,
yeah,
but I know people who are like, "Oh man, I sit down and I've been binging The Office and I watched a whole season in 2 days." I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, do you not have like stuff to do? And like, do you not play video games or read a book or something?" Like, I don't know. I think
that's
part of it too is this. Like, I'm not a person who can have stuff on in the background and enjoy it. I've got to give it my full attention. It's got
yeah,
to be,
I'm the same way.
and so I don't. It's not like I can be like, I watched 6 episodes of The Office last night in the background. No, I want to know the plot. I want to know the people. I
Right.
I want to I want to watch it. So I don't
Mhm.
know. How many seasons was this? Was NT Warrior like 2?
I don't know.
I think the show had more than two, but I think only the first two episodes are being made available, or the first two seasons are being made available.
Oh, okay. So I
But
don't know. Like it's 30 minutes. I'll probably watch it.
yeah, and I think NT Warrior is based on the Battle Network games. So main character is Lan, who has Mega Man.exe. I don't think he's called that in the show, but it is in the games, and they use chips to
No,
power
I
them
don't
up.
know, dude. Like I'm looking at it right now. There's 41 episodes of this thing. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
Well,
At least that's what they've uploaded so far. Oh, hang on,
yeah,
it goes further.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
oh,
a season I would expect to be about 24 or 25 episodes, so it could be up to
there's
50 for two seasons.
episode 44, episode 45, 46. Yeah, 47, 49. So I mean, that's like maybe 50 episodes. No, it's already up to 51. So, hey, that's a lot of TV. That's a lot of stuff to
Yeah,
watch.
you just need one more episode, and you could be in syndication.
Mikey Dreamer
Right.
says, I have right now the podcast here on my laptop and March Madness on my TV. So shows I have multiple stuff going on.
Hey, I'm glad that he can do that. And then there's maybe you can enlighten me here, Jesse. There is Mega Man NT Warrior, and then there's Mega Man NT Warrior Access. What is that?
That I don't know. Unless NT Warrior is season 1 and Access is season 2, I don't know. I'll have to dig into that.
No, the animation looks good. I'll give him that. So I kind of want to like what I want to do is I want to get the game, and because it comes out like the 18th, I think, of April, and then I'll watch because
Cool.
I don't know some of these. I don't know some of these characters. I don't
All
want
right.
it to spoil the game.
All right. Does it line up?
I don't know if the
I don't know if
story
it'll line up.
fully line up with the game in the anime, but it at least shares characters.
52 episodes total of NT Warrior and 46 episodes total of NT Warrior Access. So, wow, that's a lot. Anyway,
Interesting.
speaking of a lot, we've spent a lot more time on this than we probably need to.
All right. Well, moving into the game releases, we got a couple updates there. Lego 2K Drive for May 19th. What'd you guys think of that announcement?
I thought Tim will like that.
It's Legos and driving. Yes.
I am super excited about this.
Yes.
Like, seriously, I'm super, super excited.
I can't wait to learn more. I didn't watch a
I-
trailer, but is there a trailer for it, or they just announced it?
There is. It's a trailer. And so, Tim, here's the thing. Totally, it's not property based, so not a lot of like no Star Wars, Harry Potter, or anything like that. So it's all set like I guess in like the Lego City world, and it's open world, kind of like Burnout Paradise. You're able to transform your vehicle into jets, boats, and cars, and it looks really good.
Okay.
Just
I'll have to
really
check out
good.
the video. Comes out May 19th. So Lego 2K Drive sounds very interesting. All right. Next up that we talked a little bit about in the pre-show, Sonic Origins Plus brings 12 Game Gear Sonic games and Amy as a playable character to Sonic Origins. Comes out June 23rd.
12 Game Gear games. That's a lot of games.
That is a lot. Is that a schwack load?
It may be. It may also be a butt load.
Yeah,
that's a butt load.
That's
a butt load.
We should ask Matt.
Yeah, and we need some official weights and measures on this number of games.
I think we have something written down somewhere of what that is. I think it's probably in our Discord. I'll have to look that up. Even before Weights and Measures Week, we had something written down of what the official names for our measurements were. Schwack load and butt load are on there, I believe. So I'll have to look that up. All right, that's it for news. Let's move on to our ad break. All right. This is a public service announcement. Manscaped now has beard products and is going even further with their brand new Weed Whacker 2.0. Go ahead and tell the world the leaders in below the waist grooming are traveling north of your South Pole with their revolutionary grooming products. The new Weed Whacker 2.0 and their new beard line confirms they have all the best tools for your hygiene toolbox. Time for you to upgrade your game by going to manscaped.com and using our code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off plus free shipping. Gentlemen, Meet the Beard Hedger Pro Kit as well. It is the ultimate package that makes it easier than ever to craft your signature look. It all starts with the cordless electric beard hedger. The beard hedger is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to a single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. This waterproof cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cut lengths of all with one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. The Pro Kit also comes with 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. This includes Manscaped's beard shampoo and conditioner, which I love, both of those, beard oil and beard balm to the moisturizer style, and shimmer your new beard. Plus, the kit has 3 free gifts, which I didn't get, but I do like a beard brush, comb, and scissors. With a nice beard, your face is perfectly groomed, right? Wrong. You need to keep an eye out for those tough to trim ear and nose hairs. The brand new Weed Whacker 2.0 offers improved blades and skin-safe technology with a new no tugging guarantee. Not new, but no tugging guarantee. It's never been so painless to mind your manholes.
Okay.
Now that you have your face looking great, you must try Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0 for the full body grooming experience. Good news, the Performance Package 4.0 now comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0 and all the other below-the-waist grooming products Manscaped is known for. Your significant other will be delighted to see you are covering all the bases, if you know what I mean. So, get 20% off free shipping with our code NINDADS, NINDADS, at manscaped.com. To be clear, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with our code NINDADS, NINDADS. Fellas, have you ever wished you were a little bit taller? Maybe you matched on Tinder, but her profile says must be over 6 feet. Maybe your date wants to wear heels, but she can't because it will make her taller than you. Well, I got the short kings covered with today's sponsor, Kanzuri. Kanzuri makes shoes that make you up to 2.8 inches taller without anyone knowing. Look, girls get heels, makeup, and push-up bras. Why can't men get a boost in confidence too? We're all the same height lying down anyway, if you know what I mean. For a limited time only, our listeners get an extra 15% off your order with the code NINDADS. Again, that's NINDADS at kanzuri.com. CONZURI.com. The site is already 30% off, and with our code, you get an extra 15%. That's a total of 45% off your entire order. Support our show and check them out at kanzuri.com and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS. Not only do Kanzuri shoes make you up to 2.8 inches taller, but they are also incredibly stylish and comfortable. These are not old man Velcro shoes. You'd get compliments on our Kanzuris even if you didn't make you taller. They have styles for every occasion too. Smart, casual, sporty, you name it. The height insoles are actually built into the shoes, so no one can tell you're getting a secret height boost. The brand is also hidden on the shoes and on the packaging. It's really the ultimate height hack. Life's short, but you don't have to be. It's time to level up the playing field. Maybe update that dating profile to 6 feet. Kanzir is an absolute game changer when it comes to your dating life. Don't forget, on top of that 30% off on the site, we get 15% off using NINDADS. So make sure you go to CONZURI.com and use our code NINDADS. All right, we've got a topic, and Marty shared with us what his items were, and so Jesse and I will bring those up when we're talking about it. But what am I talking about? The eShop for the 3DS and the Wii U closed on March 27th, 2023. I'm sure everybody who listens to us probably heard that, but if you didn't, March 27th, the 3DS and Wii U eShops close, meaning you will not be able to purchase any games. You will be able to re-download games you already own, but you cannot go buy new games. So we decided to talk about what our top 3 must-have games are for each of those systems to kind of share what games, if you want to go buy the last-minute games, any last-minute games, should you go check out. So, Jesse, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do one at a time, or do you want to spot out our three all at once?
Let's just do them all at once. We also have Dave's list, some games that he gave us earlier, but
Okay.
and actually when you gave us this homework, I actually came up with a larger list, hoping that people would come up with some duplicates so I can scratch off, so I wouldn't have to rethink of games on the fly. And
Okay.
I think only one Wii U game got scratched off. Most of them were 3DS games, but so I've got more than 3 to share.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, we're all
so
good at breaking the rules, so that's fine.
what rules?
Exactly. What rules? All right. So, Jesse, go ahead. Name off your top 3 Wii U games.
All right, I'll do 3 first, and we can circle around later and hit what's what else wasn't said. So
Okay.
Wii U games that I'll mention first are DuckTales Remastered. If it hasn't been delisted, I think it's still available.
Okay.
It's an HD remake of the NES game By Way Forward.
Right.
Bit Trip presents Runner 2 Future Legend of Rhythm Alien. It's an auto runner
Bit Trip
that
2, you said?
yeah. Hey.
Hey, there's Dave.
Hey guys.
Hello. We're just
Hello.
starting our list, so you made it just in time.
Ah, very good.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Bit Trip, what now, you said?
Bit Trip it's the full title is Bit Trip presents Runner 2 Future Legend of Rhythm Alien.
All right. I'm just putting Runner 2, and then you can probably finish the rest later.
Yeah, I'll copy my list in when we're done.
Okay.
And then my third game is an arcade game that got ported to the Wii U. So kind of like Arcade Archives, but not. I don't know what they called it then. It's
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons Chronicle of Mystara. I remember liking that in the arcade, so I bought it and I played
Nice.
a game once with my son. We had fun, but never went back to it. But still, it was a fun run.
That's cool. I'll have to check that one out. I love a good Dungeons and Dragons game. All right, cool. Well, Dave, we just started with our Wii U list. Do you want to go with your 3 top games that people should look into for the Wii U?
Definitely. I think I dropped mine into the show notes there. I don't know if you can see them in there. Do you see them,
We
Tim?
sure do. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. So let me just remind myself what I wrote down here. Hang on a second.
No problem.
Yeah, actually one of mine is a sentimental pick, I have to say.
Fair.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, sort of for interesting kinds of reasons. But so I definitely put in Metroid Prime Trilogy, despite the fact that I have I seem to be unable to finish any of the Metroids ever, which we'll talk about in finishing Nintendo games at some point, hopefully in the topic tonight too. But I think that it's the best place to get Metroid Prime is the Wii U eShop, and of course it'll come out on Switch perhaps in the fullness of time. But I think it's a good place to get it. I've always enjoyed playing on the Switch.
But you're not going to get it on the Switch for $20 for all 3 games.
Right.
Right, exactly. And I think it's a great deal. Of course, it's super expensive if you buy it on hard copy too, right? For the Wii, I've got the Wii version of that on a hard copy, and I'm really proud of having that. It's pretty cool to have as a memento, really. But I think for most people,
and there was
the
a
best place to get it
steelbook
is there
as well. I think that sells for 100, 150, maybe more. Yeah.
In the steelbook?
Oddly enough, I found my Wii U disc a while ago, but I didn't find the case. But when I was cleaning out the utility room a few weekends ago, I found the case for it. So now I have the match set. I don't have that sleeve, but I still have at least the steelbook with the disc.
Nice. Very nice. Let me get my other ones up here on the screen while we're chatting.
Yeah, Metroid Prime Trilogy. I didn't add it to my list because it was a Wii game. But for sure it's because like you said, you can get it on the Wii U eShop. So
Yeah, well,
if
most of my games are virtual console games on both sides. So.
yes. Yep.
And then I've got one that's not sentimental, but which I think is pretty hilarious, which is called Spin the Bottle Bumpy's Party. I don't know if either of you ever play that? Do you know what
I
No.
that
have
is?
not. I have not played it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's not exactly as polished up as Jackbox Party Pack, or and it doesn't have maybe the character recognition of Mario Party, but it's in the same neighborhood of games you can play with friends that are sort of weird, and in this case it's weird anyways, and pretty hilarious. So I recommend it. It also has a lot of asymmetrical party play, which when asymmetrical gaming was more of a thing, this was an indie version of that. But just for pure hilarity factor, Bumpy's Party is worth playing, as I recall. And then the sentimental one on there is Twisted Fusion, which is actually a game that you can only get on the Wii U game store. It was made by a podcaster who was podcasting at the time on another Nintendo podcast, and he spent the better part of 3 years writing the game while he was podcasting.
That's
And
cool.
yeah. And he was talking about it while he was on the podcast, and I was like,
Is
oh,
this Infendo, or am I thinking of a different?
Infendo
Okay,
Radio, right?
yeah,
That's right. Which I think some of you guys have a history with Infendo Radio, right? Or see,
yeah.
maybe Justin does.
Infendo is kind of what got me into podcasting originally.
Right. So I used to really like that podcast, and the one of the people who was presenting at the time, this is probably 2010, 11, and 12. He would endlessly talk about his travails in trying to write this game, and then when it finally did come out, I downloaded it. It's actually a pretty good game, and I think it will probably die with the Wii U, sadly.
I remember buying it, and when I launched it, I was like really disappointed in that it's got a loading time. It pretty
Yeah,
much loads the entire game into RAM.
yeah,
Once it's loaded, it's fine. It's great. It's fast.
yeah,
Because the whole game's in memory. But it takes like 5 minutes.
yeah.
What is the game about?
It was a classic sort of 2D Zelda-like platformer, really, is how I would describe it. Yeah, Jesse, I don't know if you remember it.
I don't remember anything about it other than that loading time.
Yeah. Yeah, 2D side-scrolling Zelda-like. It actually looked a lot like, in my memory, it looked like Zelda 2, which was also one for the sort of the connoisseurs out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
No wonder. That makes sense. All right, cool. That's a good list. I'm glad you got Metroid Prime Trilogy on there. Marty also put that on his list as well.
Yeah.
Along with,
I had that on my list, but I was able to cross that off as, oh, someone else said that. I don't have
to. He also put Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD, Game and WarioWare Shake It. Those were his Wii U games.
Yeah, I think the HDs are good shouts. Yeah,
for sure. Yep. And will not be surprised if those eventually come to the Switch as well. My three are Need for Speed Most Wanted for the Wii U. I actually played it the most there than any other system because I just like playing it on my Wii U for some reason. Nintendo Land. I mean, come on, that game was something that's, it was a, kind of a showpiece for the Wii U, but still, it was one way to get Metroid on there.
Right.
plus the other games are on there really cool too. And Wii Sports Club. Once that was released, we had a lot of fun with that. We didn't have to boot up the Sports Resort anymore because we were all in on the Sports Club stuff. And one of the things I liked about Sports Club too is they implemented the stamp system on that game. So which is something that I always reference whenever we talk about achievements and trophies for type environment that Nintendo should have or we would like to have. I always refer to the stamp system, like they should kind of do the stamp system.
I think Wii Sports for Switch demonstrated what a good game Wii Sport Club was on the Wii U, right? Because I think that was in retrospect, a great game, and Switch showed that it wasn't an easy experience to replicate. Not really,
right?
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. All right, good picks, everybody. Unfortunately, we didn't get any from Justin, so we'll have to get that update from him, or maybe he'll do a side video or maybe a post or something. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
All right.
Wait, want me
Next
to
up,
give want me to give the rest of my Wii U games that didn't get duplicate?
yeah, if you got any honorable mentions, go for it.
Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of them. So
All right, grab your
I
popcorn, everybody. Let's go.
I have NES Remix and NES Remix 2. And then all of these are virtual console games that won't be available anymore. But Metroid Zero Mission, hopefully that comes out on Switch, but as of now, we don't know. Final Fantasy 3, the Super NES version of 6. For people looking forward to Advance Wars coming out soon, there was a DS Virtual Console Advance Wars Dual Strike, and the rest. Well, WarioWare, yeah, I think all of these are DS Virtual Console now. So Picross 3D, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and WarioWare Touched.
Yeah, good games.
Yes. We have a few from the chat here that they're spouting out over here. Some repeats, it looks like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nobody mentioned here, actually, but yeah, that was on the Wii U.
Yep.
But thankfully, we can play that on the Switch. Zelda Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD. Art of Balance. We had that in the house. That was a good one that the kids like to play too, to kind of mellow out too. And Nintendo Land. So I got support there. And then Quag says Mario 3D World, which we have on the Switch now. 3D World with Bowser's Fury. And the
arguably improved on the Switch with Bowser's Fury on it.
Right. Everybody loved Bowser's Fury.
And even if it didn't have Bowser's Fury, it's a faster game. It was the Wii U version was slow to play. I remember trying to play that after playing Odyssey, and I'm like, he is a slog. Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. But they fixed that on the Switch version.
Nice. Mecha Dragon shouts out the Super Mario Maker and the first one on there, and Pokemon games. So, and the original Splatoon. So everybody's throwing out some of those top games there. All right.
I think the number of games that came over to Switch from the Wii U, because I struggled to find a few that hadn't made it across. I mean, I guess there's about 30 of them, 20 to 30 of them, but the number of games that came across to the Switch show what a kind of how much the Switch itself is an enhancement on the Wii U itself, right? I mean, the games came across, the form factor came across. So in my mind, they're increasingly blurred into being the same platform, which might sound like a weird thing to say, but it's increasingly indistinguishable as the years go by here.
Right. Yeah. Well, we have always said that, it couldn't have the Switch without the Wii U. So
right. I think so. Every time I pick up the Wii U gamepad, I'm always like, oh, this is like a giant Tonka toy Switch.
Right. Yeah. It's a Switch with the Nerf case on it. Or even though it's plastic, Remember those Nerf cases that DS's or whatever?
Yeah.
Man. All right. Let's move on to the 3DS games. Jesse, why don't you go ahead and go through a few of your games, and then we can always come back around again if we didn't mention any.
Okay. The first one I have is actually DSiWare, because all the DSiWare library is available on 3DS. That goes away too. I put PictoBits. I think is my favorite DSiWare game. It was like a
PictoBits.
It's like a musical game where you drew and took away dots to like on a pixel grid to do certain things. I forgot what you had to do. It's been a long time since I played this, but I remember the music is the music would be like old NES games music, so recognizable if you like Psyched by I think the Mario and Zelda, I'm sure, but I always remember liking playing PictoBits back when it was newer. Then my other two games are Picross games that are exclusive to the 3DS that will go away. First one is Pokemon Picross, which actually used like the type of a Pokemon to give you benefits in the puzzle. So they kind of had an interesting twist on that. I think that was a free download that had DLC you can buy certain things, but if once you paid $30, that was the cap, and then that pretty much unlocked everything. So again, you'd have until Monday to put that $30 in to unlock everything. Otherwise, you're screwed.
Mm.
And the other one is not available for money, but available through a code if you have 1,000 platinum points. My Nintendo Picross, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Yes.
So you have to redeem 1,000 platinum points at the My Nintendo web's page to get a code to then download that game.
Oh, I never even knew that came out. That must be quite rare.
That was like the first big reward that they offered when they opened up the My Nintendo page.
Yep. So you can go to your My Nintendo page and see it there under the 3DS listings.
Right.
Very cool.
While you guys continue, I need to AFK a bit. I'll be right back.
Sure. All right. No problem. Dave, what are your 3DS choices there?
So I wanted to focus on games that I think you can only get on the 3DS, although one of them I know you can get somewhere outside of the Nintendo universe. But the first one I put down was Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. I don't know if you ever played that game.
Yes, I did. It's an absolute fabulous game, and that is, I have it on my 3DS as well. It's sitting there right on my screen.
I don't know if you can still pay whatever you want for it. I think that was the original idea with not to pay whatever you want, but it had a lot of bidding and bartering within it, where you could sort of like bid for different values to what the ticket price was for different elements of the game. So I think it also, not only is it just a good time on your 3DS, but also it has some weird and never to be repeated e-trading mechanics in it as well, which makes it a kind of a period piece, I think.
Yes. That one, if anybody's going to buy it, you need to buy that now while you can still purchase things in the store, because that is part of the game, is being able to purchase games within the game and haggle and deal on the price. So
just really, really crazy fun, that one.
That was a lot of fun.
And I wonder how all that will work or not work after the eShop goes down anyway. So
if you already bought it, then I don't know. So it'll be interesting. I'm waiting to try it out after this shop closes. I want to see what happens.
Really good. And then I've got Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, there's Dual Destinies, The Spirit of Justice, just because Phoenix Wright is always a good time if you enjoy story-driven, kind of slightly wacky, kind of theatrical narratives, and it's those are classics in that genre, and only on the 3DS, as I now understand. Have you ever played any Phoenix Wright games, Tim?
I haven't, actually. It's one that I want to. It's on my list of wants, but not high on my list, obviously, because there's a lot of them out there, and I haven't played any.
Yeah, and you won't be struggling to find a Phoenix Wright game, because they're on every platform. I think
yes, I can get it on my phone.
Get it on your phone, get it on your iPad. I think you can get it on Xbox probably, and maybe PlayStation. I don't know, but it's those are games that they're fun to, if you want to take a break from shooters and response games or heavy duty questing solo player mission games. I play a lot of those kinds of games. These are just kind of story based. You have to apply your brain a little bit. It's not massively stressful, but quite hilarious. So really worth it. And then the third one I've got on here is Pocket Card Jockey.
Yes, another great choice.
Which just came out on the iPad, and I find myself playing it. I should say on Apple Arcade. I play that on the iPad, but I find myself playing it a lot right now on Apple Arcade, and I think it splits the audience a little bit in its current form, because it's different in some pretty interesting ways from the original on 3DS. But actually, I think it's good in both form factors. Probably better on 3DS. It's a Game Freak game, of course, so it has that sort of genre, that sort of maker behind it as well. And actually, what I will say about it is the more you play it, the deeper you realize it is, because it doesn't just have the famous horse racing solitaire mechanic, which will resonate with some people and not with others, but also it has you can raise your own horses in a stable, and you can win different versions of the same cups and fill out your trophy cabinets. And it's a game that'll keep it going for a while.
It is a very interesting game. I liked it when I played it on 3DS. I still have it on mine as well.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, if you haven't checked it out already, our friends over at All In Podcast, the I think it's Keep Nintendo Weird part of their show.
Yeah.
Seth did a couple episodes on Rusty's Real Deal Baseball and Pocket Card Jockey. So if anybody wants to learn more about those, he did a couple of podcasts there. So
very cool. Very cool. Have you ever played the new version on Apple Arcade, Tim?
I have not. I did download it though. I have it on my iPad, but I didn't try it out yet.
I'm sort of wondering if anybody can highlight what some of the big differences are between the original and the new one. Because when I opened it up on Apple Arcade, I was like, "Oh, this is different," but I couldn't quite put my finger on how. I know it's 3D versus 2D, but I don't know what else it's got going on.
I don't think they go into detail on the Pocket Card Jockey, the differences, but Seth did play it on the iPad as well. So if anybody knows, he'll probably know. So, all right. Yeah, I'll have to ask him. Maybe he'll know.
Yeah.
All right. So Marty put down Box Boy and affiliated titles. So all of those. Picross 3D Round 2, Pushmo and Crashmo games. That was also on the Kit and Crystal listed as well, if anybody has been watching those. And Kid Icarus Uprising. I forgot about Kid Icarus Uprising, and I mentioned it before when we talked about this, but great pick, Marty. That's an awesome pick. Did you play Kid Icarus Uprising?
I did. That was one of the first games I ever got on the 3DS. I think it was, if it wasn't a release game, it was pretty soon after the 3DS's launch that it came out.
It was in the early year. Yeah, probably that first year at least, for sure.
Really great. And I think the last iteration in the Kid Icarus series, wasn't it? I haven't seen one since.
Yeah, we have not gotten a new one yet. There's a lot of rumors of possibly getting that ported to the Switch, but
great game.
It'd be cool to see if that gets ported and with some updated controls, see how that goes. And I'll for sure be buying that. But it was the other part of it is the AR card feature that it had. So because you could buy the cards, and then I had a bunch of the cards. You could add, give you weapon abilities and all that kind of stuff to Kid Icarus. So, and its weapons. So it'll be interesting to see if they do any card elements. Maybe they turn them into, cards like they did with the Animal Crossing cards. Yeah. So be interesting. So Marty's list was also good. And in my list is Metroid 2 Samus Returns, Nano Assault EX. So that one, I think I don't have to explain Metroid to anybody, but the Nano Assault EX is basically a twin stick shooter, but it's 3D and you're on a round sphere, like a germ or something like that. Difference, you're nano sized. So you're on like really microscopic size things, and you're flying around it and destroying all these either germs attacking it or other microscopic things that are attacking that whatever you're trying to save. It's been a while since I played it. I probably should have fired it up before talking about this, but it's one of my favorites that I went out to Twitter and asked, hey, can you I forget the name of the company who made it, but it's like, can you make another one for the Switch?
Did they ever reply to you?
No, they didn't. Unfortunately,
it sounds like Ant-Man Multiverse in some ways.
There you go. That's before I even knew it. Before I even was, a fan of Ant-Man. That was it. Is
that an eShop exclusive, Tim?
No, they do have it physical as well. There was a physical version of it, I believe. So, but it is out on the eShop. And then also Madden Football. So if you didn't, if you like some Madden Football and you want it on your Nintendo, there's a 3D Madden Football, and it's actually, I enjoy it a lot. Maybe because I can't get any other Madden on my Nintendo systems, but I enjoy it a lot. And I do have to give an honorable mention to Moon Chronicles, because that is another game that's space oriented. It is a first person shooter that actually I thought was really done well because of the 3D. So Moon Chronicles by Renegade Kid. So
and I have a few other virtual console games I wanted to throw out there.
Go for it.
All right, the Oracle of Ages and Seasons.
Yes, I have that on there for sure.
Then Pokemon trading card game. Well, that one is coming to Switch. It isn't there yet.
Same with the Oracle Seasons and
those
are coming too.
True. And then I have Pokemon Yellow and Crystal, since we don't know if we're going to get Pokemon games on the Switch like that. But if we do, it likely won't be those third games. They'll likely be the base red, blue, gold,
Yeah,
silver,
those
etc.
those came later too on the 3DS, Virtual
Yeah.
Console. They weren't the same. They didn't co I don't think the yellow came out with the red and blue. I think it came out later.
That I don't know. I don't remember. But Crystal definitely was later than the gold and silver.
Okay. Yep. And we got a few in our chat as well. We've got quite a few actually on the 3DS side. So Pokemon Art Academy was one that Mecca brought up. Also Ace Attorney games. Harmonite.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, wasn't that Game Freak also, like Pocket Card Jockey?
maybe.
If that's
The
what I'm
first
thinking
Steam
of.
World game. That was a tower defense game. The Steam World that was tower defense.
That's
a
also
DSi.
DSiWare.
Yeah. A Yu-Gi-Oh game on the 3DS. Quag back with the Zelda games for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. But keep in mind, those are the 3D versions. And I think, Jesse, you said you preferred one of those versions over the original or something like that, right?
Yeah, last week I said I liked the 3D Ocarina of Time better than the N64
Yes.
version.
And then Link Between Worlds, of course, is on the 3DS. Yeah. Excellent game.
The last thing I'll mention, this is just like an overarching statement. If there's a game you want that's expensive as hell because on the third party or on the used game market, but you can buy it for cheaper on the 3DS, now's your time to do that.
Now's the time to do it. Good point there. Street Pass games. Yes, I actually put a note in here. Don't name not counting Street Pass or Virtual Console as a whole, not just the games. So Jesse, you're fine. But I was just saying, not counting Street Pass or just all of Virtual Console, that those couldn't count as one. But Street Pass games like Find Me, Quag put down. So Street Pass is something that a lot of people are like wishing they would bring to the Switch in some way. So, but
yeah, I still remember what was the game where like it was like an RPG where the people you street passed were your fighters. Was that Find Me or was it no? That was something else. But
no, that's Miitopia.
No, this was Miitopia is its own retail game, but this was part
you're talking
of
about Street Pass.
This is part of Street Pass games. Anyway, I don't remember what the name of that game was, but
it was Find Me, wasn't it?
It might have, I don't know, but I remember, it was E3 2011. I had, one of the perks of being in one of those meeting rooms was we were able to get Miyamoto's personal Mii, not his gold pants Nintendo one.
Yeah.
And so I had his Mii do the kill shot of the final boss of that game.
Nice.
And I actually recorded it with my crappy cell phone at the time, and I put that up on my YouTube channel.
Nice. I'll have to go look that up. Warrior's Way?
No, I think that was one of the newer ones. I have my 3DS here. Let me just look.
Mii Force was No, that is Find Me. It is Find Me.
It is Find Me? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And Puzzle Swap.
Oh, the puzzles. You can't forget the puzzles.
Yes. All right, cool. All right. Also, Miz says the flower game was so good. So that was Flower Town, I guess.
I don't remember that one.
The Street Pass games are a lot of fun, especially when they kept adding new ones and stuff. So I'll have to look back at that. I got it up mine all charged and everything. So speaking of 3DS, so just throw this out here now, even though I have it under events. We have it under events. Remember #OneLastPass. Don't forget, everybody, to bring your 3DSs with you. Have them charged. Bring them with you to the Mario movie when you go watch it. and let's get that one last hurrah of a street pass in, and then we can like share our findings when we get back to talking about the movie. We'll say, how many street passes we got and all that kind of stuff. And who knows, maybe, if you're like just trying to get that last hurrah on your street pass, you don't have to go see the movie. You just go hang out at the theater and get all those street pass hits.
Street Pass is one of those great social experiences and features that you always wonder why Nintendo didn't keep it going in the new era. It was so much fun on the 3DS. I don't know, is it a big memory drain to have that running in the background all the time? Do you guys know?
No, it doesn't. It didn't really drain when we closed it. No, it was like.
Yeah. I used to love. I used to.
Maybe it would be for the Switch.
Yeah. Take it to work on the train through the 3DS, and just like I take my Switch to work on the train, and I would love just like quickly opening it up when I got to the office and seeing all the hits that I would get just on the train. It's so sad not to have that anymore. It'd be fun to do the same thing at the Mario movie.
I would think they could, since they have the Switch connected to your mobile phone, I would think that they could do a mobile app or add it to the Nintendo app.
That'd be cool.
To where it does a Street Pass type thing if you got it on. And then whatever happens there, you can load up to a Switch game or, connect with your Switch when you got home or whatever, or if it was nearby, whatever, however magic you want to do there, it would connect with what you do, make use of that mobile phone app you're doing there, Nintendo. Come on.
I think Nintendo should get on that. That feels like a winner to me. No downside, only upside, Yeah.
There's that, and then put a music player in there so that you can, as long as you have it connected and it checks every now and then, you could then have some of the music that you have locked up in your Smash game come over to your phone and listen to it without having to carry your Switch around everywhere.
When was the last time Nintendo brought out a mobile app? I don't think they've done one for a while.
Splatoon 3. Yeah. Splatoon 3's update.
Right. Okay, all right. Oh God, I forgot about that. I played Splatoon 3, but that's a mobile app.
I'll put a link to the video I talked about in the chat. If I remember, I'll try to put it in the descriptions of the podcast postings as well.
Oh, nice. I'm going to click on that so I can watch that later. And I'm waiting for it to play. Oh, no, good. It's not playing. That's good. I thought it was going to start auto playing on me. All right. Well, that is our top 3 games for the Wii U and the 3DS. So let us know what your 3 games are in the YouTube subscription for any of those, or let us know any we might have missed. And of course, if you're in our Discord, just chat in our Discord and let us know there as well. So, Dave.
Hey.
You're our guest spotlight. So you had made it just in time so we can circle back and get you to talk about our next topic.
Yes.
So, but before we do that, Dave, tell everybody about who you are.
Well, thank you. I live in the UK, and I've been an avid Nintendo gamer since the mid '80s, I would say, since the first Nintendo came out. Gosh, whenever that was. And like you guys, I'm a fellow Nintendo dad. So I've got 3 kids, and I Nintendo game with them all the time, and that some of them have gone on to do their own different kind of gaming formats, and some of them have stuck with Nintendo, whether it's on a Switch or on a mobile experience or whatever. But that's basically who I am. I'm a fellow
as
Nintendo
they do when they grow up, right?
Yeah, they were introduced into gaming through Nintendo, and then they found their own way in the world from that point onwards. But we all still enjoy Nintendo gaming together, and I've been part of the show's ecosystem for a while now as a Patreon producer. I think for gosh, maybe 6 years now. I don't know how long the podcast has been going for. Maybe the podcast has been going for about 7 years. So I sort of found 9, right? So I found the podcast not too long after it started, and was happy to become a Patreon producer, because at that time there weren't any real podcasts talking about Nintendo in a dedicated way, because it was, of course, the wilderness years of the Wii U, and there weren't any games coming out. There really wasn't. I thought, who are these people talking about Nintendo when there's literally nothing going on? So yeah,
exactly.
So I always appreciated the banter in the chat because I love Nintendo when they're doing well, but I love Nintendo even more when they're struggling because they have to be creative, they have to be inventive. It's always a life or death struggle, and I just enjoyed being involved in a group of people who were talking about it during the difficult years because that's almost when Nintendo's at its most fascinating.
Yes, exactly. When they're the most weird.
Yeah, exactly. When they go into their own twilight zone, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's me. I live in the UK. Been out here for a while now. I always appreciated it when Justin was doing this from Ireland because the show is being recorded at weird hours. And when I first signed up to be on the show this week, I was originally supposed to be in Detroit City, but those plans got changed. So I'm sitting here in the UK, dialing in the middle of the night here, in sort of Justin style from a couple years ago.
Well, if you do have plans to come over to Detroit.
Yeah.
You have plans to come over to Detroit, you should hit me up. Send me a message if you got time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because that's where I live. I'm in Detroit area.
I'm going to be there next week, Tim, so maybe we can get a beer or something, catch up. That'd be nice.
That would be cool. Yeah, let me know.
Very good. Cool.
Let me know. We'll figure it out.
That's a small world.
Yes. All right. So with that, you had brought in a topic for us to talk about. But before we do that, actually, no, we'll talk about the topic here. So
actually,
you had
do the other thing first. I'm going to grab my Switch real fast, and I'm going to show you why this is my topic. I'm just going to grab my Switch. I'll be right back. Have you heard something else first?
I was going to ask you what games you've been playing, but you're probably going to need your Switch for that too. So,
well, all right. So let me just grab my Switch, then we can do the topic. Maybe.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. All right. So,
should we hit events while he's doing that, and then come?
Yeah, let's do that. All right, real quick while Dave's getting his stuff together there, we will talk about some of the upcoming events, which we have. Tetris 99 has a new event. The Atelier edition will run from today when you're listening to the show, if you're listening to a recording, 3/24 or March 24th at 12 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern, through March 27th at... was that 3 a.m. Eastern?
It's 1 minute shy of 3 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, almost 3 a.m. Eastern on the 28th, actually. So
that's Tuesday morning, Friday morning to Tuesday morning.
Yeah, so they're got a new MAXIMUS CUP, and if you're into the Fire Emblem engage a game, then you'll probably want to do the Tetris Maximus because they're going to have...
probably going to forget about it.
Right. Well, after the show, we could start. No, we don't. We're not going to be that late. So anyways, once you've accumulated a total of 100 event points, a new theme will unlock featuring art, music, and Tetramino designs.
Yeah, it doesn't start for 4 hours. So yeah, I'm not going to be up then.
So tomorrow morning, make sure you fire it up, Jesse. So and get your Atelier edition.
I'm going to forget.
All right. And also don't forget, we have our Discord community events, The Table, every second Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. Eastern, and every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern. The community gets together at The Table, otherwise known as a Discord voice chat room, to discuss whatever is on everyone's mind. If you want to join in, email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or DM us on the social medias to learn more. And in case you didn't know, whether you subscribe to us via Patreon or Twitch, you get access to Discord and a schwack load of events like The Table and Monthly Mayhem. And by the way, make sure you're counting how many times I say schwack load in this episode. So anyways.
I always do, Tim. You're on for a record tonight.
Yes, I am going for a record. So, but going back to the table, one of the things that we're planning on trying to do at one of the dinner tables coming up is, especially if poker becomes available, is we're going to try to use the activities that Discord has in their voice chats. And one of them is a poker room. And they just recently announced that they launched all the activities on, or majority of the activities on mobile, where poker will be coming soon. It's not there yet, but once poker is available, we have a few people to join us on on their mobile devices that will try to join us for an activity of poker at the table. So it won't be dinner table anymore. It'll be the poker table. So anyways, make sure you're part of our Discord to do that. Also, don't forget about Monthly Mayhem, which is going until April 9th. That is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe and ends April 9th. If you want to join in, again, you have to be in our Discord and participate. And there's a big, huge image that tells you what you have to do in order to get some scores for your chance at some prizes. Again, that's Monthly Mayhem that ends on April 9th. That's playing Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. And as I mentioned before, don't forget about the hashtag One Last Pass. Bring your 3DS to the movie theaters when you go to see Mario. So don't forget that. All right. Enough of the events. Let's get back to you, Dave.
All
what
right.
games have you been playing, sir?
I've got the Switch here, so I can remember everything now. So these two actually segue into each other pretty well, because the topic I wanted to talk about today relates to a game that I've been playing. But just to hit that part out real quick, I've been playing, of course, Metroid Prime on the Switch. Been having a good time with that. Although I enjoy it, Tim, I'm not as natural a Metroid aficionado as you are. I do get myself easily turned around trying to backtrack, retrack. I actually find it quite hard to progress in Metroid Prime. But I think if you just relax into it, I play for like a half an hour, 40 minutes at a time. So enjoying Metroid Prime, but I've been a bit surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm a bit surprised always by the fact that the only way to save your progress is to go to a save station. So I regularly keep on switching the game out and playing something else, and then coming back and going, oh my God, I forgot to save at the save station. So I'm currently having that experience of Metroid Prime, but it's good. It's a good time on the Switch, and they've done a really, really nice job of adapting it for the modern world. So I'm enjoying that.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm also playing playing Pocket Card Jockey on the iPad, and I know we talked about that a little bit earlier, but I would encourage anybody who has an Apple Arcade subscription to give that a go. It might come out on Switch in the fullness of time as well. But I think that is a nice, good Game Freak experience. And if you enjoy card games, if you enjoy that kind of strategy, it's a fun take on solitaire and horse racing. So what's not to like about that? Two things that anybody can get a good time out of, right? So
yes.
And I think that the depths of that I'm beginning to enjoy starting to explore. So it probably has a shelf life and a replayability that goes far beyond what it might look like on a first glance too. And I forgot how dark a game that is. If you remember the way that it begins, I don't want to do any spoilers or anything, but it begins in a pretty challenging way in terms of the storyline. I'm not going to say how it begins, even though it happens at the beginning of the game, but it has some pretty interesting psychological overtones going on as well. So it's a pretty freaky game in some ways. It's good fun.
Nice.
And then I've also been playing the Mario Rabbids game, which sort of leads into my topic for tonight. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't see this because the camera isn't. Maybe it's focusing on it now. I am 96% complete on the Mario and Rabbids game here. The Sparks of Hope, of course, and I really like these games. I like the way that they blend the Mario universe with the Rabbids universe. I'm not necessarily coming at it from a Rabbids fan base. I'm like you might expect me on the show, coming at it from the Nintendo character fan base and the Mario character fan base. But I like the way they bring those characters together. I like the way that the 5 different worlds on here, 6 if you include the end, they're kind of they're addressable. You can get your arms around them. Sizes of experiences. Each world is different to the next. So they did a really nice job on this game. I think it's a Ubisoft developed game, right?
Yes.
Now, one of my longest points of contention with Nintendo is why won't they give us an achievement system? And I know we've talked about that on this show before. I don't necessarily want to open that can of worms again. I think we all have different perspectives, and it's well-tread territory. But even though Nintendo doesn't have an achievement system, a trophy system like Sony, or just an achievement score like Microsoft, this game comes pretty close to having that. And it's every world has a completion rate on it. There are things you can collect that are collectibles just to help you know how you're progressing in the games. Although, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to platinum this game. And I don't know if anybody who listens to this show has tried to platinum or 100% this game, But the closer you get to finishing any of the worlds, the more impossible it becomes to finish any of the worlds. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm currently 98% finished on the first world, 94% finished on the second world, 98, 96, 94% finished on these worlds. I've been to Wikipedias, I've been to help things online to find where these last collectibles are. It's almost impossible. So not only do they make it hard, they don't give you a trophy system as a matter of principle, I suppose. It feels like they make it impossible to actually finish the game. So my topic is: have any of you ever platinumed or 100%ed a Nintendo game ever? And which one would it be?
I don't know if I did or not for the 3DS Zelda game, Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds. Yeah.
Link Between Worlds. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. If I did, it would have been that game, but I don't remember if I did or got really damn close to it. I don't think I would have considered any other game platinum.
Yeah.
If you consider I got to a kill screen on Donkey Kong with using rollback states, not many people could say they've done that, I'm sure. But I don't think that's a platinum.
And I think that's pretty interesting, because actually the earliest Nintendo games weren't really designed in such a way that you could 100% them, right? I suppose they were sort of, the levels went up and up and up and up. I suppose you could get to the highest level count on any particular level, but I guess the earliest games didn't even, they were designed to, a little bit like arcade games, just play on forever, right? So there wasn't...
Yeah, and the developers didn't expect players to be so good that they could do it. Like, Duck Hunt, you get to level 99, you got yourself an impossible board. Donkey Kong's 130th stage, an impossible board. And they didn't design it that way. It's just, the way integers roll on 8-bit numbers.
I think that's interesting, Jesse, because it makes me think that maybe the origins and the roots of Nintendo are buried in that world, where the further you get, the harder it's supposed to be. Like that's the way the games were originally, to your point. So now in the modern day, the more you're determined to 100% a game, the more impossible it becomes. It's certainly not inconsistent with the origin of Nintendo that you can never actually ever get there, in my experience. Right. I know I didn't 100% Breath of the Wild. I know I didn't 100% Odyssey. I didn't even really try with the stars in the end. I had a good time playing it, but I didn't obsess with getting all the stars.
If you count Bowser's Fury by itself in that world, I did get all those collectibles.
Yeah, I would count that. Bowser's Fury, we have one.
Yes.
Yeah, but the 10 or 15-hour game, so it was easier to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, for me, it hasn't been Nintendo games because they've been long in the tooth.
Yeah.
For most of them. For me, not a bad thing for most players. It's just, for me, it's been more about, if it's got a story, am I getting to the end of the story? Did I complete the story? I'm done. I rolled credits. And then, of course, I thought, like with Pokemon Arceus, I thought I was done, but Jesse was like, no, you're not. So I went back to playing it and found out more of the story.
There is more after rolling credits.
Yeah, so I finished the majority of that story and still actually didn't 100% it because I didn't get all the Pokedex, and obviously I didn't finish the story in that sense.
Yeah.
But
how do you consider 100% in Arceus? Actually getting all the stars in all the pages, or just getting all the pages? I did get all the pages.
I would say completing the Pokedex.
I did not get all the stars in all the pages. You only need 10 per page.
I don't
think for me it would be getting all the stars on all the pages. Maybe that's part of my problem, is I have to fill everything in.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did not do that.
For me lately, it used to be, yes, if I enjoyed the game, I would go in and I wanted to know every nook and cranny and do what you're doing, Dave. But I got to the point to where it's like, I'm like, I want to know what the story is. So am I finishing that? Get me to the end of that if I'm enjoying the game. If I'm not enjoying the game, then I'm probably not going to finish it. So even if the story has got me intrigued in a certain way, if it's not keeping me in engaged, then I'm like done. Right now I'm playing Fire Emblem Engaged, and I don't know if there is 100% a way to 100% that, other than maybe getting all the rings. and
Right.
bracelets.
This
But
is the reason why I thought it was an interesting topic, because like with most Nintendo games, whether they're first party developed or third party developed for Nintendo, you never really know if you 100%ed it. Like what would the criteria be? I
yeah,
don't know if you guys ever had this phenomenon at work or
Okay.
when you were studying. Do you ever sort of wake up wondering, oh my God, did I finish that project I was working on? Or, oh my God, did I finish that thing I was supposed to get done and my boss told me to do? Or when I was studying, I didn't finish my essay. Oh my God, the origins, right?
yeah,
That's basically my experience with most Nintendo games. Like, did I ever finish that game? Oh my God, did I ever? So I just don't know.
yeah. For me, it's gotten to the point where it's if I rolled credits and know the complete ending of the story, at least one path. If there's multiple paths, if I know the path that I'm satisfied with, I've 100%ed it for me.
Yeah.
Now, if there's 100% as far as items go and stuff like that, then I know I didn't collect all of it. Then no, I didn't 100% the game. Like if there's like like the Paper Mario games, like the last one that came out or whatever. I know there was a lot you could collect there. Anything with collectibles if you're trying to get 100% of that, I don't usually do that unless it pertains to the story. So unless if I want to find out a certain aspect of the story, then I'll go there. Or if it pertains to rolling the credits or something like that. Or if I really want to know what that secret thing is, and that you have to get if you do so many of this.
Are either of you likely to 100% or platinum a game on another system? I know, Tim, you've got an Xbox, right?
I do have an Xbox, but I mainly play on PlayStation. And I
Okay.
did I do 100% on? I think I got platinum on Stray. Is
Good
it
for
platinum
you.
on Stray?
I think I have. I've owned a
I have to
PS3.
look now.
So I bought that in I think 2007. Within a year of its launch. So I've had a PSN account since almost day one, and I have 0 platinum
Zero
trophies
platinums.
to
Yeah,
my
I'm
name.
not surprised. Not surprised to hear you say that, Jesse. Because I think you're not necessarily in favor of this whole trophy system idea in the first place, right? As I recall.
Yeah, well, I'm not opposed to it. It's just
Yeah.
it's not a system seller for me.
Yeah. Which is fair. I think that's true for probably slightly more than half players. I think the trophy hunters are more of a large minority, but a minority. Tim, I was interested that
Yeah,
you're
your
straying.
Gerards in the world.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Tim, I tried to platinum Stray last year as well, and I got within one trophy of that, which was the speedrunning trophy. I just could not finish that game. And
Oh yeah, so I didn't get it. That's right. Okay.
Did that happen to you as well?
I did not do the speed run. No.
Right.
So I did
think
not
every
do that.
trophy except the speed run, because Stray is a great game. I could
It
see
is
that
an
game
absolute
coming.
fantastic game.
I could see that game coming to Switch, by the way. Very Switch friendly in terms of the story, the ideas, the graphics.
I would
I
double
feel like
dip on that if they
yeah, I
did
would
that.
too. Great game, but I just could not hit the speed run time. And that's a good example of where my lines are for getting a platinum. I won't try and platinum every game. If there's anything involving speed running or anything like that, I'll give it a go, maybe, but I won't obsess about it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Thinking back to Super Nintendo games, Mario World, I do remember getting the 96 levels. Donkey Kong Country, I do remember getting 101%.
Nice. 101% has to be a platinum, Jesse, and then some.
Yeah, that is completing every level and every exit of every level.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, for someone who's not that wild about the trophies, you've probably done the best then.
Of course, back then I had a lot of time on my hands. I don't anymore.
Yeah. Very good.
So going back to Street Pass real quick, I went to the Street Pass map to see. It shows where I've had hits. I don't.
Yep.
Oh, you can't see that. Well,
oh yeah,
so
I can see just coming through there.
Oh
yeah, I missed that map. So
oh, the map. That's right.
I got
yeah.
42 regions out of in the United States.
That's pretty good. That's very good.
And then the next country that had the most regions was Japan. Had 7 regions in it.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good example of where filling out a grid or a map or a set of things can be quite rewarding, right? Getting all those regions was pretty cool, definitely.
Yes. and doggone it, it is not easy to get your trophies up on internet here. Like trying to pull up the trophies app on my computer, but it's probably easier just to get it on my phone. But yeah, anyways, yeah, it's there was a time where like there were games where it was like, okay, I want to get everything. Like for Journey on the PlayStation when it came out with the trophies. I got those, and because I really enjoyed that game. I think that's
I know
one
my
I got.
I know my son has platinumed Persona 5 Royal.
I think I
That's a
only
good one.
platinum one game
He
on
said
the
that's a pretty
PlayStation.
easy platinum.
That's the kind of game you can only platinum if you have a lot of time on your hands, I think.
Yeah. Well, still, it like he pretty much skipped all the cutscenes,
Yeah. Oh.
and it still takes like 2 or 3 runs to do it, but he had
Yeah,
it done
but
in
yeah.
50 to 60 hours.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. The platinum I'm most proud of, the one that gives me the most satisfaction and joy was the first God of War on the PlayStation, as in the modern version of God of War. But I really, really enjoyed that. It had the balance right between being challenging, rewarding, but not out of reach or bullet spongy or anything like that. When they're well done, they're great. And the best thing about them is whatever system you're on, when you know you're done, you can kind of go, I finished my homework. I handed in my project. I did my assignment. I know I'm done. I beat the game. The game didn't beat me. That's always what
Right.
I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yes, I got
complete.
one trophy. Yes, one trophy on my
platinum?
list. One platinum pro trophy. Yes.
And what's that, Tim?
On which game? I'm trying to find it. It might have been a long time ago. Probably, I'm gonna guess Infamous 2. I'm gonna guess
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. No, but let's see. So I can't find it just yet. But I got 33 gold, 120 silver, and 667 bronze. That's not a lot compared to a lot, people who just
compared to people who take it
PlayStation.
seriously, right?
Yeah, for sure. Says I'm level 204 in the trophy.
Nice.
So.
If they had trophies in Nintendo, we'd all be grandmasters by now, I think.
Probably
our playing history, yeah.
Being that it's our preferred gaming system or whatever. So
yeah.
I'll have to come back to it because going through this long list of games that I've, because I'm a game sampler even on the PlayStation, so I have a lot of games on this
Right.
that show.
So I just pulled up my profile on PSN Profiles. It says 231 games played.
There it is.
See, 1,080 trophies total. It does say one completed game, but apparently that game doesn't have a platinum. But I have no platinums.
The Walking Dead from Telltale is where I got my platinum.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, relatively concise as well, right? So that's one of the ones that's more reasonable, I think. You haven't got to play for 400 hours to get it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you can get through the episodes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
Nice.
Thought it was Infamous. I did complete 90% of that. Well, that was Festival of Blood, but Infamous 2 was probably a lot less because the Infamous game. So here's another example. The Infamous games had paths where you could go kind of the good side or the bad side, depending on your choices, right? So I went on the first Infamous game and the second one and the third one. I start off going with the good side, getting most of the trophies over there. And then I would think, I'll play again on the bad side and then get those trophies. I never went back. I got the end of the story, and then I was satisfied with that. So even though I love those games, it was just like I moved on. So
fair enough. I think 100%ing a game is something that you should only do every now and again, and only if you really love it, and only if it's within reach. So that's always going to be a minority of games at the end of the day, but a privileged minority of games.
You're up there with the completionist. So,
yeah. And for me, in the world of Nintendo, I will forever have none. That's the moral to this topic.
I finally figured out how to sort it by percent complete. My 100% complete with no platinum is Pac-Man Championship Edition DX.
Wow, you can 100% that? That's crazy.
Well, there's only 15 trophies. My next one is Persona 4 Golden, which I played on the Vita, which I got 91% of the trophies.
Nice. Oh,
I'm missing
apparently
6 out of 50.
I am not even close to getting 100% on Stray. I thought it was a lot closer, but I only got 55% on Stray.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I thought I did a lot more of that, but I guess I'm gonna have to go back on that one and see what I missed.
If you're ever going to try and 100% that one, try the speed running first, because if you can't get that done, then
There's not even worth going for it.
The rest of it won't count for anything. I can tell you that from experience.
All right, fair enough. That was a great topic, Dave. Thanks for bringing that along.
Thank you. Thanks for the therapy session. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So, Mecca wants us to mention, since we didn't mention it yet in talking about 3DS or Wii U games, we suppose we can consider it a platinum trophy in the real world. But I mentioned Gerard earlier.
Yes.
Hear what he recently did, or he recently posted a video about what he did over the last year.
Oh, he bought all the games. Yeah.
Yeah, every single 3DS and Wii U game.
Yep.
Wow, that's the meta right there. That's the meta 100%.
Think like $23,000 and almost 2 terabytes of data.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, between the two systems.
So he can go back and re-download anytime.
Well,
because he bought them.
Except for he's donating all that software and hardware to Preservation Society. So he
nice.
won't have access to those games anymore.
All right. Well, good for him. That's awesome. Probably wouldn't be able to play. Oh, we got rated by the Nintendo Pals. Thank you so much, Nintendo Pals, for rating us and for all that have joined in on that. We're just we're sitting here talking with Dave about some of the Wii U and 3DS games that we liked, and suggest that people go buy before the shop closes in the next several days. And then also talked with Dave about how to platinum a Nintendo game. So that was, if you missed out on that topic, we'll have our podcast distributed out tomorrow morning, so you guys can listen on that. But thank you so much for stopping by and rating, Andros. That was awesome. You have to tell us what you did on your were you doing a show, or were you doing something on your streaming? You have to let us know what you were doing, what you guys were doing over there. All right. Let's move on to Dave. Already talked about what he's been playing. Jesse and I will talk about what we've been playing. Dave, I have to say, I love the view that you got going on behind you there.
Oh, thank you. That's the beautiful River Itchen down here in Southampton in the UK. So it's twinkling at nighttime here.
That is awesome. Love it. All right. So Jesse, go ahead. Update us on what you've been playing.
Right. So I knew I wanted to get rid of my Townsman VR disc that I was borrowing from Gamefly to make room for the next game to come down, which I talked about earlier. So I returned the disc and bought the game to finish it, and I think I literally finished it like 2 days later. So I rolled credits on Townsman VR. I can play it again if I want to, like an endless mode, but I'm normally not a fan of those. But considering that, so far this is only the second VR game that I bought that I really like, so I'm sure if I'm in the mood to play more VR, I'll probably hop back into this one and give it another playthrough. So I am not upset that I purchased it just to beat it 2 days later. But I don't know what my total playtime was. I would guess 20 to 30 hours. But those last 2 stages are actually pretty difficult because there was an enemy force on the same island that would eventually, every once in a while, come down and start attacking my people.
Okay.
So I had a hard time maintaining my army because they would squish it, and I had to find a way to get my army up to hit them before they can squish me. And at one point I was down. Like I could have 21 uh, builders or people with jobs, not including the clergy, not including the army, on my island maximum. They had me down to 6. I was at bare bones. I was just barely hanging on, but I was able to manage. I managed to pull that one off at the end. Um,
Does that game have trophies too? I don't know if any VR games have
yes.
trophies, do they?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
so it's a PlayStation game. It's got trophies.
Okay.
Um, I think I might have 50% of the trophies. I'm not going to
Okay.
go back and finish them. Some of them require some pretty weird things. Um, so a few weeks ago, I did a stream of Metroid Fusion, like the first hour. I I went back and finished it this week, so I rolled credits on that last night. Uh,
Nice.
that is my favorite Metroid game. Flat. Period.
Number
Uh,
one. Yeah,
yep.
actually, Chris HL told me that it might be his favorite too. He's been playing through it.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that Zero Mission comes to Switch. If it does, I'll play that. Again, I like Fusion better, but doesn't mean I don't like Zero Mission.
Right. Both
uh,
great GBA games for sure for Metroid.
yeah. Uh, I played more of Pixel Lines 2 into the Puzzleverse. I finished the first page of puzzles from the story mode, which were basically, it's like 25 puzzles that are all pirate themed. And as you finish the puzzles, whatever object you created in the puzzle gets added as a 3D object in whatever the environment is, or that's the scene that's playing out in that environment. So I was able to do all 25. Once I finished that, it opened up 5 more sets of puzzles to play through. I haven't done any of those yet, but after that, I went to just the puzzle mode. Uh, they have, I didn't count them, like 10 or 15 different categories, each with 20 to 25 puzzles. Actually, some have even down to as few as 9, but those are larger puzzles. So, but
Nice.
so this first set had puzzles as small as 10 by 10, and they literally took me 25 seconds to solve. So, but I did the first page of those. So, this, just like Picross games, this is kind of like a mind relax. Do this when I have time to kill and want to just veg out. So I'll be playing more of that. The last game I want to talk about is, several months ago I talked about purchasing EverDrive GB for,
Yes.
so I loaded up some games onto my Game Boy. Uh, and I've had problems with the games not maintaining their saves, and I didn't know why. I've been playing Picross 2, sequel to Mario's Picross that didn't get released out of Japan that I'm
Nice.
understanding. So this game, it does have Japanese text. So there is some pointing my phone at it with Google Translate to get this. But
I'm surprised
so
somebody didn't translate that yet into the ROM.
oh, I'm sure there's a fan translation out there. I just haven't come across it.
Okay.
But I did some Googling trying to find out why isn't this game saving. Um, I found the solution. Apparently, on the cart there is memory to save it, just like any other game would.
Oh, you don't have an SD card in there.
No, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
There is an SD card in there,
Okay.
but because I thought the save would be written to the SD card immediately. It does
Right.
not. It saves
Okay.
it to cart memory, and only if I hit the reset button on top,
Yeah.
then it will copy the save data from cart memory onto SD.
Interesting.
I was just saving it in game and then shutting it off
Oh,
and wondering why the save wasn't being saved,
right.
because it was saving it to the cart but not to the SD card. So once I discovered that, when I'm done playing it, I just have to make sure to hit the little reset button on the EverDrive, and then I can shut it off, and then my save will be safely there.
Gotcha.
Because there was one game I started playing called Hime's Quest. Hime is like Crunchyroll's VTuber mascot.
Okay.
So it's like a.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right. Okay, yeah, I did see that.
and I tried playing that, and then save never kept. So I'm like, okay, why bother playing this if I can't save?
Right.
Now that I know how to save it, that's a game I'll probably go back to
Nice.
again. So yeah, when apparently the GB interceptor that I couldn't get to work, that fast, I sent a bunch of pieces to him for him to solder, and then he's
Yeah.
going to ship them back.
Oh,
So once I get that back, then I hope I can use then that with this to do do a Game Boy stream some weekend.
nice. Yeah, that'd be exciting to see because I'd like to see you play some of those games. Nice. And that's awesome that Fast is helping you out with that. It makes
Yes,
sense.
I appreciate his help with that.
Yes. In case anybody doesn't know who Fast is, he's one of the hosts on the Retro Logic show and also on Topic Retro. Does a lot of shows there. In fact, I think he's got a Metroid Prime show coming up soon. So listen to those guys over there. They do some good stuff over there, of course. They're part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts, plus their own family podcast over there. So, all right. Thanks, Jesse, for sharing what you've been playing. I myself have not been playing very much because of, like I said at the top of the show, I've been trying to go through Scrum Master courses and get ready for that. And then I passed my test, so I'm happy with that. So now my brain is free of that stuff for the moment. So I'll be able to get back to engage and play that. I did play kind of a little bit here and there, just kind of setting up some of the characters, getting through some of the support parts of engage where the two characters have to talk and level up within the game and stuff like that, and or between the characters and the ghosts, I guess, if you will. The emblems. So I've done that, and also I sometimes will go through and see if there's any of the characters I have I could level up or change classes on or whatever that makes sense. So, but I didn't see anything there. Just again, more Fire Emblem Engage. There's trying to see. I talked about the other one, that one I did a video on already. There's another one that I'll be working on soon. I can't talk about yet, so I'll talk about that. I think by next week. I think I can talk about it. Yes. So not very much for me. For Marty, I will mention the games he has. If you have any questions on what he's played, he may already have some videos out on some of these already. If not, just put your questions in the YouTube or hit us up in Discord. But Marty's been playing Mother 3, Have a Nice Death, Super Mario Maker 2, Metroid Mike's Levels is what he's been playing there, Power Washer Simulator, and Cranio Origins.
When you read that out, Mother 3, Have a Nice Death, I thought that sounded like Mother 3, Have a Nice Death. Like that was the subtitle of the game. And then you laughed for a second there.
The DLC for Mother 3, yes.
Yeah.
Have a Nice Death, I think, is also
DLC on a GBA game. Great.
Yeah. Have a Nice Death, I think, is one that Justin did a video on. So you can check
I just started downloading Power Wash Simulator because I forgot that's finally come out on the Switch.
Yes.
I've enjoyed that on other platforms. So definitely, I have to think a great form factor for the Switch. I think
for the Switch for sure. Yeah, my wife was actually.
It has a free download, a Tomb Raider download pack, so that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some cool patches on there. Yeah. And my wife was looking at it. She thought it was just kind of hilarious that there was this Power Washer Simulator game on there. And I was like, no, that's for real. People are talking about like wanting to call that the game of the year last year. So you should download
there was a game made for Nintendo Dads, it's Power Wash Simulator.
Yes.
Come on.
Well, yeah, I picked it up on PC when it was in early access in 2021 as a kind of a joke to do a Father's Day stream playing it.
Yeah.
You actually had fun with it.
I liked it, and I ended up playing through all the content that was available before it went
Yep.
fully live.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to it many times since, but I put a lot of time in that game.
That's a game for the completionist minded, I would say. I've
There
got to
you
get
go.
that last little bit of dirt off the last little fence in the backyard. I love that stuff. Yeah.
And finding that last little bit of dirt sometimes is a
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah, it can be.
You
They
missed
have
the
that
spot.
they have that cool highlight function so you can highlight to show you where it is, right? Even then it's a
Yeah,
pain though, I would agree.
yeah. Like it doesn't show you where exactly it is, but it'll tell you
It'll
which
sort of flash
segment
up.
has it, and
Yeah.
sometimes it still takes me 10 or 15 minutes just to find it. 1 pixel, where are you? It's like Metroid Other M all over again.
Yeah. You can hear somebody saying, why is Dad grumpy? What's he shouting about? Oh, he's power washing. Oh, he's power washing. He's finally doing something good. No, he's power washing on a video game. No.
Right. Yeah, that's got. I wonder how many fights some dads got in for that one. It's like, so you can power wash and get 100% power wash on your game, but you can't do the house. You can't power wash
Yeah,
the house.
exactly. Oh, you put that kind of effort into the real backyard. Come on,
Yes.
man.
Thing is, you can't do that for 30 hours in real life because your arms would fall off.
Yes.
That's what I say. That's what I agree. 100%.
All right. We'll move on now to the community spotlight. All right, here's where we've got quite a few questions here that we could go over. One really long email and a few questions from Discord. So we'll start with Russ G, who sent in an email saying, I personally think the next Switch will for sure be backward compatible. Further, I think this will be done via hardware, and the next version will have 2 slots. We know Nintendo has already taken this approach, and similarly, this will be in place for the first iterations and will then be dropped partway through the next generation, similar to how the Wii dropped GameCube support and how the DS line eventually dropped GBA support. But but whether 2 slots or not, I think the new cartridges will be slightly different and won't work on the current Switch. Further, because Nintendo, the new one will come along with the price tag being established by Tears of the Kingdom. For example, some early release games like Metroid Prime 4 will come in 2 cartridge versions. An older one at $69, which you can play at the current on the current and new Switch, but the frame rate and or resolution will be limited if you're playing it on the new Switch.
Presuming he's talking about like Canadian dollars here.
Possibly. But I also see the frame rate and or resolution will be limited if you're playing it on the news. I think he meant the older Switch.
Yeah, the old Switch.
They would limit it on the old Switch. So, all right. Alternatively, you can pay $89 and get the best new Switch HD version that will only play on the new Switch and not the old. But for the additional cost, you will get this game at 60 frames per second in high res. So, to the subject and the actual question. Do you think that along with a new Switch or a new console, the price increase on the tiers will become the new standard price for Nintendo's first-party games, which all other games will shortly follow?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned this before. I think, the successor, I think, will be primarily $70. If they have cross-generation versions, I don't know if they would. They definitely could. Sony's done it. But I don't think that's something Nintendo's ever done before. Well, maybe. I don't remember what Twilight Princess was back then. I think games were still $50 on the Wii. So yeah, even that was the same price. So yeah, I don't. So that's hard to tell. I don't know what they would do. But yeah, definitely we'll see more $70 games.
So Dave, what do you think about this whole $70 price tag for tiers? Did that throw you for a loop, or were you just like, yeah, I'm going to pay it?
Well, I'll say something that will be controversial for some people, which is not only do I think the price will go up to that and maybe a little higher, but I think it should go up to that or a little higher. And that's the controversial part. I know not everybody can afford lots of video games or sometimes any video games, but two reasons I say that. Firstly, the rate of inflation. This is boring business Justin talk, right? But the rate of inflation in the world is 10% or more, and I think only video games and grocery stores are the only places that we expect prices not to go up in a world where prices are going up. And again, consumer power, people power, I'm all in favor of that. But inflation adjusted, games have never been as cheap as they are today, so they probably should be going up if we want the quality to stay strong. But the second reason why I say that is related to the first point. But I don't know if you guys have been watching any of this Double Fine documentary about the making of
Yes, I
Psychonauts 2.
have. Yes.
Yeah, I've been absolutely loving that, and I actually meant to mention it in the "What Have You Been Playing" section. I've been watching Psychonauts 2. It's a 22-hour documentary. It's really nice. It's in 30-minute, 20-minute, sometimes 45-minute chunks on
Yes.
YouTube. It's just free to watch on YouTube. Really, really well produced. But what I'm really loving about it is you can see how much effort goes into these games by how many people and for how long they're doing it. Now, I
Yes.
would love for my own my son, one of my three kids, my son loves video game design. We talked earlier about getting your kids into gaming. I would like for him to be able to have some kind of meaningful career where he can support his own family in that space one day, if that's what he wants to do. And when I think about him and that generation, all the people making games, I don't think you can pay people properly to make good games if we don't raise the price tag at some point to this kind of $70 level, and at least keep up with the cost of living. So, I think that games will and should get more expensive. I don't think they should get over their skis on that kind of thing, but at least keep up with the general economy so people can make them, And I think even in giant companies like Nintendo and Microsoft, they still got to pay their staff, right? And certainly in the independents like Double Fine, you got to pay your staff. So I think the price will go up and should go up. And personally, for games like the Zelda games, I'm happy to pay that price, and I know I'm going to get hundreds of hours of gaming out of it. So I embrace it, but then in return, I expect the games to be good. And if they come out and they're not good, then I think we should hold the companies responsible for that too.
Yeah, and as you mentioned that, it's not anybody can just come out and be like, "Oh, I'm going to charge $70 for my game."
Right.
Especially if they have not proven they can do that. Where Nintendo, we look at Breath of the Wild and they're coming out with the sequel, which is, we've already read that is much bigger than Breath of the Wild in terms of size. They're like, oh yeah, you got to pay $70 or $10 more or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, here you go, take my money. Is why I was like, okay, I was ready to pay $120 for the special edition that I couldn't get, but obviously couldn't get that. So yeah, I'm with you on that. It's like, if I know you are a company that's going to provide me what I'm the same, especially like if it's the sequel, if you're going to give me the same experience that I enjoyed over 5 years on Breath of the Wild, then I'm sure Tears of the Kingdom is going to give me about the same, if not more, because it's a sequel. So I'm like, yeah, I'll pay $80. I'll pay $70. I'm willing to pay the extra more. Now, is it going to be every game going forward? We don't know yet. They've come out and said, suspiciously, oh yeah, we look at every game and decide how much it's going to be. And this is one we decided to make $70 or whatever amount it is in your world. So that extra cost.
Yeah, I think they're testing the waters with this new price tag with their marquee franchise cornerstone game, and if it sells well, I think we can expect all the other games to price
the other ones to follow suit, right?
Yeah. And I said this before, that this whole fixed price thing for AAA games is a very North American and probably Europe and UK thing, not a Japanese thing. It's very common for Japanese games to just be all over the place. So
right, that's right.
If you notice, I was quickly doing some Googling and searching in the eShop. I looked up 4 games to see how much they would cost in Japanese yen from the Japanese shop. Mario Odyssey, 65.78. So that's actually probably about $55. So of course, back then the yen wasn't as bad, so it was probably closer to 60. Breath of the Wild, released before Mario, 76.78. So over over 1,000 yen more. It's like $8 more. Xenoblade 3 was 8,700 yen. Xenoblade 2 is 8,778. So just less than 100 yen more, but still there's a price difference there. And they still have the 2 voucher deal. That's about 10,000 yen. It's like 9,990. So you buy 2 vouchers, pick up Xenoblade 3 with it. That second game just has to be 1,300 yen to get your money's worth. So yeah,
Right.
it's even a good deal here. It's even better deal in Japan, which is why I've done it twice in the Japanese region.
I'd like to see random pricing. In European and America's markets too. Why not? I mean, I think you're right that this uniform pricing thing is kind of unique to these territories, and it probably leads to some games being overpriced and some games being underpriced, which in the end is a slightly weird economy as well. Definitely, that's interesting. I didn't actually realize they price all over the place in Japan. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I first noticed that when I first bought the set of Japanese vouchers last year.
Good,
I'm like,
good data,
Xenoblade's
Jesse.
pretty pricey.
Good data. Yeah.
Great question, Russ. Thanks for bringing that to us. And we got to hear a little bit of Dave's side of how he viewed the price hike too. So that's a great question. All right. Some of the other questions we got from Discord, we're going to have to skip the one from Mecca again because Marty's not here. So we'll wait until Marty's back on. Hoots, he asks, sounds like Nintendo might be making a lot of money this week with everyone impulse buying games that may never play on old consoles. A while ago, Sony said they were going to close their PS3 store down, but then reneged when they saw the fan backlash. Do you think that Sony might see Nintendo's profits this week and then revisit closing their old shop again? How tempting do you think those completionist dollars are?
Eventually that they will have to shut the PS3 and Vita stores down. But I think Sony's probably looking at this, seeing Nintendo successfully shutting down stores, and Sony knows, it'll have to do it someday. Don't know when that'll be, but at least like their PS3 store, PS4 store, PS5 store are still similar infrastructure. Unlike Nintendo, every console had its own separate infrastructure.
Right.
And that's part of the problem.
You would think Nintendo people would be a lot more angrier than the PlayStation people were when that was shutting down.
Yeah. Well, they were, but we're also used to it because we've already had the DSi shop and the Wii shop shut down.
And we also know that us complaining is not going to change anything.
Right.
Just go buy those games we want.
I think PlayStation headquarters is North America now. I think but Nintendo's headquarters is Japan. So really what we say, deaf ears.
Right. Very good point.
I think it's great insight from Hoots there. I think PlayStation might be looking at this going, wow, how come Nintendo can pull this off and not have its community go completely ballistic and get the money and cut the cost of maintaining the old infrastructure. So I think we know PlayStation Sony likes to borrow from Nintendo when it sees things working. It went to the digital format for directs, so their own version of directs at some point, right? And I think Nintendo blazed the trail on that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Sony pick up on this and have another run at it. But what Nintendo did that Sony didn't do, I think, I might be misremembering this, but I don't think Sony gave enough of a lead time, whereas Nintendo gave us all at least a year, right? Maybe more, of saying, hey, this is going to come to an end. So you can't really complain if you get more than a year's notice. And if you do complain, you run out of energy anyways. You can't be angry forever,
People who argue on Twitter have an infinite supply of energy. I don't know how, but
right. Yep. That's all good stuff there. For sure. I think we'll probably see something from Sony's side soon. So
yep.
All right. Koopa Kid 80. Activision has been rumored to have been working on a 3D Donkey Kong game back in 2016, which was moved over to EPD in 2018. And supposedly Miyamoto really liked what he saw. Do the dads think Donkey Kong can return to a 3D game and have a successful outing? It seems Nintendo is giving its main franchises and characters after Kirby's one open world outing in Forgotten Lands the 3D platform treatment. What's next? Yoshi, perhaps? Would love to hear your thoughts. So what do you guys think? I did not know about the Activision Donkey Kong thing and then moving to EPD. I'd never heard that rumor before.
Neither have I until I saw his message.
Yeah, so but it doesn't surprise me that they would be trying to get new blood on a Donkey Kong game.
What was the last Donkey Kong 3D game? Was it 64?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, the Wii and Wii U Donkey Kong games are still 3D rendered, but they're 2D perspective.
They're kind of, yeah, that's right. They have depth in them, but then you're not playing across a 3D plane, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
So, do I think that a 3D game can happen again? Sure. Yeah, if they manage to do it for Kirby, I think it's possible. It's as long as they don't have 500 bananas to collect in different colors.
Speaking of completionist.
Yeah, exactly.
Collect all the letters and all the bananas.
It always feels to me like Donkey Kong in 3D is sort of like Sonic in 3D. Like it felt better as a 2D experience. I actually quite enjoyed Donkey Kong 64. That was back when I had enough time, loads of time to play a game like that to death. I still didn't finish it, obviously. But I think like Sonic sometimes has missteps in the 3D world, probably more often than not, I would say, because translating speed to 3D doesn't really work so well. I wonder if Donkey Kong might be sort of similar, but I think it's got a better chance of being a successful 3D game than Sonic does. So it's somewhere between Sonic and Mario. It's not quite as translatable as Mario, not quite as hamstrung as Sonic is, but I mean, if you did a good job with it, why not? You know, great characters.
Yeah, I think
great
that
environment.
It's going to be interesting to see because it's going to be like, okay, you have your fans of the 2D or, you know, with 3D rendered stuff, fans, and are they going to be wanting the same of that and be upset about the 3D version? Is it, you know, we'll see. I mean, Odyssey was a great game, so if they go the 3D route, is it going to be along those lines of being as great as that? So.
I'd love to see a successful Donkey Kong in 3D. That'd be great if they pulled it off.
I would love to see a Donkey Kong game so that Justin can get his Donkey Kong.
Where's my Tingle game?
Yes, and Jesse's waiting for his Tingle game.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for that port of the DS games.
I was gonna say they did make a Tingle game, didn't they? I think they did.
Yeah, there was two Tingle games on the DS. One did not come to North America. I think it did come into Europe.
Was it all about popping balloons? What was it about?
Rosy Rupee Land or something like that was one, and I don't remember what the other one was. The other one was weird and probably wouldn't have sold in North America, and so rightfully so for not releasing it here.
Wouldn't even be allowed in 2023, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's also very possible.
Right. All right. Great question there, Koopa Kid. And Darth Platypus, love his name, by the way. With the Mario movie approaching, is there anything you'd like to do to prepare? Play any specific games, watch the last movie or one of the shows, 2-week media blackout to avoid all the reviews and such? Marty said that. He said he warned everybody about all the stuff that was out there. So, time for the blackout if you don't want to see anything else. But yeah, Dave, are you doing anything to prepare? Get yourself in that Mario mood for the movie?
Yeah, I'm doing two things to prepare. I haven't watched a single trailer or spoiler or search for anything on the web since the first trailer. When I saw the first trailer, I was like, no, that's good enough for me. Love it. I'm in. Can't wait to go watch it. So one thing I do to prepare is I'm in full on blackout mode for sure. I think it might be tough to spoil the plot of a Mario movie. I don't know, but I don't want to find out either. You know, I don't know. I don't think the plot is the main point. I think it's more the experience. But either way,
you didn't see Mario take on Mother Brain in the trailer.
Oh, I was so successful in avoiding spoilers. I can't believe I come on the show and I get it. You know,
oh darn it! Sorry.
That would be worth watching.
What about that stealth scene with King Hippo in the background?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. I'm out of here now. I'm leaving. I think even though it's probably hard to spoil the story, I'm thinking probably. But what I'm looking forward to is the little moments in there, the little surprises where the games translate to the movie, like those little kind of almost like Easter eggs or the winks and the nods to the Nintendo fans and the players, right? So that's what I didn't want to have spoiled.
Hardcore Nintendo people.
Yeah, just the little knowing, stuff that'll be in there. And the second thing I'm doing to prepare relates to that, which is I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart with my kids. I sort of forgot how they've been adding new tracks. I hadn't played Mario Kart for about a year or so. I went back in with my kids and played some a couple weekends ago just to get ready for the movie, because I do think there's some kart stuff in the movie from what I've heard, despite trying not to hear anything. And I think Mario Kart is the one Mario game that we all play. So I've been playing some kart to get ready for those moments in the movie, to remind myself of the blue shell stuff and all the little things that happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of those new tracks they put in there?
I think that the new tracks they've built are outstanding, especially the city-based tracks, which I think is the majority of the new tracks seem to be city-based tracks. So
from the tour game, probably.
Yeah, I lived in Singapore for a while. So when I played the Singapore track, I had high expectations and they were exceeded by the track. And it was, an absolutely fantastic rendition of the Singapore streets in Mario Kart. And I feel like the other ones, Sydney, Bangkok, others have been done very well as well. So I think they've done a great job on the new tracks, and then the refurbished tracks from previous console generations. Always good fun, Yes. So I've been really enjoying those as well. So I haven't been disappointed by the DLC at all. I think it's been great.
Is there any tracks that they're missing that's any of your favorites, or are they all there? And
I think that's actually one of the things that is sort of fun. I feel like they're all there, but then they keep pulling some out that I forgot all about, Right. So I that's actually what I think they've got at least 2 more bundles to go at this point, maybe more, but they certainly got at least 2 more to go.
And 5 new characters to add as well. So
right. So I'm looking forward to seeing which ones they pull out of the chest here from years gone by. I still really miss the multiplayer experiences, like the balloon chase, the shoot 'em ups, and all that. That I used to enjoy on previous Mario Kart games.
The battle modes.
The battle modes, right? And I don't know if they had battle mode in Mario Kart or not, but if they do, I haven't played it. So in the one on the Switch, do they have it on the Switch? I'm not sure they do.
Yes, they added it. If I remember correctly, they did add it because it wasn't on the Wii U version.
That's what it was. It wasn't on the Wii U version, right? So that's actually something I can go do then and go check it out. I always enjoyed battle mode. Was best on couch co-op, I would say, or couch multiplayer, right? When it's you and so, but actually, just like Mario Kart, I think I enjoy playing that with 4 grids on the screen as well. So, yeah, maybe I'll get that running again and take my kids to the cleaners in battle mode before we go to the movies. That's what I'd like to do.
There you go. Yeah, and you just reminded me, actually, a friend of the show, Josh64, is doing a book, or released a book. I don't know if it's out yet, on Mario Kart.
Nice.
I'm actually considering picking that up.
Is it an art book or a history of the series?
I think it's a history of the series, I believe.
Very good.
But I'd take either one, an art book or a history. But yeah, I'll have to look that up again. I just briefly saw it go by one time, and I was like, oh yeah, and you just reminded me of it, so I'll have to check that out.
I think Mario Kart 8 is probably the most successful example of a continuously service game, right? Game as a service in the Nintendo world, anyways. There's no talk of a Mario Kart 9 that I am aware of, anyways. But they keep
talk
adding...
that we've seen. I haven't seen any rumors.
Yeah, that and Smash Brothers, I guess, right?
Right. It's like, even if there was rumors at some point, it might have been because of the tracks. Yeah, people were probably like, "Oh yeah, they're working on 9," but it ended up being the tracks.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart 8 has a credible shout at being the best game of all time in that regard. It's high quality, it's well maintained, it's the peak of its form, and they keep adding great content. I think we're lucky to have it. That's how I'm getting ready for the Mario movie.
That's a great way. That's a great way. Great question there too, Darth Platypus. Thanks for bringing that up too. So.
Right. I wanted to jump back to talking about the Tingle games before we get on Max Lead.
Okay, sounds good. I don't want to get on Max Lead.
Me neither. I only come by every now and again.
So the one I was thinking of is called Freshly Picked Tingle's Rosy Ruby Land. That did not come out in North America. It did come out in Europe, in Japan. So North America, got none of these games. The other game is Ripened Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love. That was Japan only.
Did that come out of the Americas?
No. None of them came out in America.
Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe they struggled to get past the ratings board by the sounds of things, The Balloon Trip of Love sounds fantastic.
I think NOA just says this game is crap and will not sell here.
They're wrong. They're so
totally
wrong.
They're so wrong. Absolutely.
All right. Anything else before we close out, gentlemen?
That's it for me.
All right, Dave, thanks for stopping by the show and giving us your topic. That was awesome. And also letting us know your top 3 3DS games and Wii U games. And again, love having you on. And thanks for also being a Patreon producer as well for so long. You and I started out together as Patreon producers for a while there, and then obviously I went a different route. So
that's right. You took it to a whole other level, Tim. Yeah, all of us Patreon producers admire your journey. By the way, I realized just a little while ago that even though I said I would join you at 9:30 Eastern time, I was completely unaware that the times changed in the U.S. already. So apologies for joining you guys late tonight and missing the news, which I was looking forward to, but the U.S. switched to a new time 2 weeks before the U.K. did, so I wasn't.
Always happens to be the case. I forgot about that too.
Oh man, we changed our clocks this coming Sunday. I think you guys did 2 Sundays ago on the 12th.
Yeah.
So sorry for that. I don't want to give the Patreon producers a bad name, so I thought I'd own up to it right here.
Hey, we were playing it like you were. We knew you were gonna stop by, so
okay.
So it was all good.
I'll close the veil and we'll go back behind the veil again.
Yeah. All right. First, a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, such as Dave Ernsberger, to RJ Kern, and Jacqueline Amira, as well as to our other 90-plus patrons. Thank you so much for what you do and provide to us over there on Patreon. Next, a special thank you to our 16 Twitch subscribers and over 1,402 Twitch followers. And a shout out to our 6,695, I think it is now, YouTube subscribers. I think it says 90 here. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're close. We're close to 6,700. Come on, we just need 10 more people if it's still at 90. But we have this lofty goal of getting to 10,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you can tell your friends, tell your mom, tell whatever. We need some moms to follow us. Get them over there on YouTube to subscribe. That would be awesome. And again, thank you to everybody who does all of those things, follows us, subscribes to us, shares the news of the Nintendo Dads. Thank you so much because it helps us in every way possible. Check out our website, nintendodads.org, for Spotify podcast feeds on our show, as well as other Nintendo Dads family of podcasts like the Game Pass News, where Nick and Sean go over the week's Xbox news and Game Pass releases, as well as a few of their favorite non-Xbox topics. Then there's the Retro Logic family of podcasts featuring Retro Logic with Dan, John, and Sam, covering all your retro gaming and retro gaming collecting topics. There's On Topic Retro with John and guest doing an in-depth overview and an analysis of speaking retro games. Geez, I can't talk. Blech. Retro Groove with Adam and Leon discussing music from all generations and types, and Film Logic with Mike and Eston, and every now and then a guest talking about all things to watch. And don't forget about Dad's After Dark show, where John and Drew talk about video games, TV shows, sports, raising kids, wifey stories, and everyone's favorite Drew topic, animal care. And since it's an adults-only podcast, they are never afraid of some honest chat. So what does that mean? Don't let the kids listen. It is not a kid's show. All right. Don't forget, our latest YouTube videos are on our website, as well as links to all of our social medias, Patreon, and Extra Life pages. Don't forget about Extra Life. And to our Nintendo Dads merch, what little we have right now. So anyways, don't forget to check out our sponsors like manscaped.com. Get 20% off your Manscaped order with free shipping with the code NINDADS. You can also use NINDADS over at Kanzuri to get 15% off with that code, which is a total of 45% off your order of shoes that make you taller. You can contact us in most places like Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube by typing Nintendo Dads, or email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NINDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice, and please, if they have the availability to do a review, leave us a review. 5 stars would be awesome, and a comment. That also helps. Thanks again on behalf of myself, Jesse, Dave, Justin, and Marty. Good night, everybody. Pick you later.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Federal regulations require me to warn you that this next test chamber is looking pretty